Cognitive Dissonance Part 2. The answers to the questions at the end of Part 1. Why were all of Perry Mason's clients innocent and yet jailed by the police? Because Perry Mason only took innocent clients. He was a defense attorney, but he only accepted those who were not guilty. Second question was, why did he use Paul Drake to find evidence that the police could not find? Because Paul Drake would find evidence, good or bad, right or wrong, innocent or guilty. The police were only looking for evidence that might implicate or somehow prove they were guilty. The police are interested in something that they call clearance rate. That means to get it off their desk and get it to the prosecutor. They're not looking for truth. In this country, it's supposedly we're innocent until proven guilty. However, the investigators don't see it that way. They're looking for clearance rate, to find whatever evidence they can to lock somebody up, to turn it over to the prosecutor and let it go through the courts. Now, if they find contradictory evidence, evidence that's proving someone that's accused of something to be innocent, then they might ignore it as if it never existed. They might destroy it, alter it, hide it, or in some cases, they plant incriminating evidence. Any statements that you make to police will only be used against you. In some of the YouTube videos, they're talking about never talk to a police officer. That's because nothing you could say is going to help you. But the seemingly innocent comments and statements can hurt you. So if there's no benefit of talking and cooperating with them, then, and there's only the detriment to cooperating, then maybe you shouldn't do it. The more innocent you are, the less you should say. Perry Mason had respect for the law as a tool to protect society, to protect individuals from criminals, and he also understood how tools could be used wrong. They could be used badly. They could be used with the wrong intent. Like the police investigating, their intent was to convict. Supposedly the person was innocent until proven guilty, but all of their actions were focused on how to convict. So that doesn't fit what we believe in the United States, that you're innocent until proven guilty at all. In the Perry Mason series, he was always right, and the police were always wrong, and the police had always jailed the accused, and yet they never fired him, fired the police, Lieutenant Tragg. They didn't demote him. Of course, they didn't seem to promote him either, but there's a recent case in New York where I think it was 8 police officers were planting drugs on people who didn't have drugs on them, but the cops wanted them to. This isn't isolated anymore. This is rampant. In the United States, let me back up. When I was in elementary school, my teacher said you could tell the health of a nation by how many of its people are incarcerated in prisons and in jails. And at that time, I believe it was Russia that had the most, and then maybe China. And this is per capita we're talking. But now, that's no longer true. Now it's the United States. So I wonder, what are they teaching in elementary school now? How to gauge the health of a nation. It certainly isn't that anymore. And of the groups that are falsely convicting and falsely arresting and falsely destroying people's lives, the largest group is the police. The second largest group are the prosecutors and judges. And the third largest group, basic groups we're talking, are women. Those are the cases that rely mostly on hearsay. Someone said that this event happened or didn't happen. In the cases that I've investigated, one fellow was arrested and convicted of rape. Now, he was from Colombia. He was a drug mule, sold small quantities of drugs, but carried them into the country. So he wasn't some sort of innocent Jehovah's Witness or something. He was a criminal by nature, and when they accused him of raping this woman, he admitted that he had had sex with her. Now, if you know anything about drugs and the culture, there's several different excitements in drugs. One is the money, huge money. Two is the excitement of doing things wrong and being on the edge and danger. Three might be supporting your own habit. And number four, the sex. Because women will buy drugs with sex. And that was this case for this man. She was trying to get drugs using sex. It was the second time he had been with her, and afterwards she wanted $4,000. Well, he was small time, so he didn't have that kind of money. But she knew enough about the drug culture to know that $4,000, you can come up with that. She told him that if he didn't give her $4,000, then she would claim rape. He refused because he said he didn't have it. 10 or 12 hours later, at a party that she was at, her girlfriend suggested that she call the police and claim rape. She did that and went to the hospital, and the rape team were amazed at how much semen was inside of this woman. They were shocked. And in my interview with this drug guy from Colombia, I asked him a series of personal questions of which he had no understanding of why I would ask. And some of it was about how potent he was and those types of questions. He couldn't have done it. Or, let's put it this way, she had had many men that night. And that's why even the rape team was shocked at how much fluid was inside of her. I gave him my findings and talked to his attorney. The courts had destroyed the evidence because he had admitted to having sex with her. He never admitted to raping her. It wasn't rape. In the papers it talked about there were fingerprints on the wall as if somebody was being dragged down the hall, and they were trying to hang on to the walls to keep from being carried into a bedroom. And the mattress was askew, slightly askew on the bed. In the interview, of course, the police pictures weren't available of the crime scene, but the house was a dump. I mean, it was just covered with trash, a table just filled with beer cans and bottles and food, and I mean, it was filthy. There were clothes all over the bedroom. It was a place where, you know, disgusting. Fingerprints on the wall? Hey, piece of cake. The mattress askew? Yeah, easily. The whole house was askew.